We spent the whole women's college basketball season to get back to where we were at the beginning, at least where I was, with South Carolina and UConn as the top two teams. In fact, I'd probably flip that given the Huskies just beat the Gamecocks. Now, the rest of the field is still wide open. Don't get me wrong. I mean, TCU has looked great of late. Haley Van Lith has had an awesome season. Notre Dame may have sputtered down the stretch, but they still have Hannah Hidalgo and Sonia Citron and Olivia Miles, right? Texas didn't play their best down the stretch, but they were just ranked number one. UCLA beat USC, but USC had beaten UCLA 2 games prior. The reason I have Dawn Staley and Gino Auriemma squads at the top is, one, the Gamecocks played the toughest schedule in the country. They have the most depth, all those McDonald's All-Americans, and all of a sudden, Chloe Kitts is rounding into form, and Mylasia Wiley has started to really find her groove off the bench. Meanwhile, on the UConn side of things, it's not just Paige Beckers, right? She has AZ Fudd, who's a certified shooter, and then Sarah Strong is a beast. Sarah Strong could be the best player in the country by the end of the season, the way she's playing as a freshman. And I really think she is the one that elevates the Huskies into the championship favorite position, even if it's ever so slightly. So let's take a look at the power rankings I put together. You can give me a agree or disagree on those. But as far as the way it shook out, I think I have it fairly close to accurate and a good assessment of where the tournament looks right now at this moment. Obviously, there I am. You have NC State, who last year went to the Final Four. They've got 4 players in double figures. Then Duke, I have at 9. They just won the ACC tournament, meaning they beat Notre Dame and NC State. LSU is very interesting to me because Kim Mulkey's been resting for the postseason. She held Flau'jae Johnson out. Anissa Morrow had a little bit of an injury, but if Williams, Johnson, and Morrow are all ready to go, I think that could be a team to watch, though they don't really have a signature win yet on the season. I just mentioned TCU. They haven't lost in over a month. There's Sedona Prince along with Haley Van Lith. Notre Dame, I loved at the beginning of the year, but they just don't have an imposing physical presence, and it's really exposed them as the season has gone along. Texas never really impressed me that much, but their full body of work, gives them a spot near the top. UCLA, you could make an argument, for them. They were at number 1 for a while. They have a win over USC. They have a win over South Carolina, but they didn't look great the last few weeks, losing to the Trojans twice and almost losing to Iowa. Then there's USC. Juju didn't play great in that Big Ten championship game. She hasn't played great in the biggest games as of yet. That's something she's going to have to fix, though they were rolling going into that game. I mentioned South Carolina, and I mentioned UConn. I mean, I still think the field is wide open, and it's going to be a mad March Madness. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so punny, but I do believe those 2 teams specifically have gotten a little bit above the rest. I mean, South Carolina just blew the doors off Texas in the SEC championship game. And UConn didn't impress me at the beginning of the year, but the way Strong has come on, she can really pass the ball. She's a presence on the glass. It looks like she's finding her rhythm as a scorer and will only continue to get better there. So that's how I'd have the top 10 ranked going into Selection Sunday a week from today.